Hey, kings and queens, and everything in between. Welcome to this episode of A Sip with Samad podcast. And I'm your host, Samad. Let's jump in. I never knew there was a love like this before. Never had someone to show me a love like this before. Now that we have come to be a brand new life I can see. Never thought you'd be a special part of me. No, babe. The reasons are because of you. I can go on and make it through. I can't even take my mind off loving you. And I wanna say, never love like this before, no. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. You know, I hope you can see the joy in my face and the bags underneath my eyes. My clutches have clutches. And so I have some great news, and I really have an excuse for this unexpected hiatus that I was taking more recently. It's not because I didn't want to be here. After I gave this whole spiel on the last episode about welcome back, I want to be here, I love you all. Then the baby was born. Did y'all hear me? That was the news. The baby was born. So Al and I were able to welcome our beautiful, beautiful daughter. And I know I'm biased. I'm tearing up now just thinking about it. Golly. Jesus, get it together. So we were able to welcome our beautiful daughter. Once again, I know I'm biased because I am her father. And, but she is gorgeous. I think she can be, you know, one of the next few Black Gerber babies. That's how beautiful she is. But Avery Wes was born. She was delivered in Bogotá, Colombia. And so we were out of the country for a couple of weeks. And then I was trying to get my life together. I planned on recording while I was in Colombia, and that was a miss. I was overzealous. What's funny is my grandmother called me when the last episode dropped, and she was like, Samad, you know, you should have just waited till after the baby was born. I was like, oh, Grandma, I got this. Grandma was right. So here we are. She is healthy. She is beautiful. She is brown. Yeah, so this episode is clearly going to be about my baby. I just want to let y'all know that. So if you don't care to talk about me and my new journey of parenthood, come back next week. We might be talking about something different, but majority of this is going to be about my baby. So I just want to let you all know that. Before I get any deeper into this conversation, let's talk about what we're drinking today. So I want to know what you're drinking, first of all, but I guess, what am I drinking? Oh, and I'm letting y'all know I'm a father now. Okay. I'm a father. And because I'm a father, I can't be out here trying to get drunk like that. So, you know, I just want to let you, that and I don't have time. So I know I was trying to get into making different cocktails. We're going to have to bring a friend to the show to help with that at some point, because I really don't have the time to try to come up with new cocktails. So today I'm keeping it real plain and simple. I'm drinking a Fulva drink. Okay. And I'm drinking just some tequila on the rocks. I'm drinking this Herodura Legend, so you can see it all. For those who are watching on YouTube, you see it rotating behind me on my beautiful lazy Suzette. But you see it spinning behind me. My cousin actually bought this for my birthday, and I haven't had a chance to try it. And so this is my first time trying it. So let's see what it's giving. Ooh. Oh, and it's an añejo for those who care or have an interest or know the difference. Ooh. Well, it's definitely got some some rasp to it. It's definitely giving rasp. Yeah. It's not bad. I gotta, with tequilas, you when you sip it the first time, you may not get what you want to get from it the first time. You have to let it mellow out. And so that's why people talk about me putting lime in my tequila. I feel like the lime embraces some of the flavors that's within it, and so does the ice. And so I let it sit for a bit, and then I keep sipping. And usually I start tasting the different flavors and the different notes within the tequila, and it takes me someplace. So we're gonna see where this takes me. I mean, the review is the initial taste is it's given a little smokiness, but I can't really taste or pull out the flavors that I normally can in my tequilas. And also the last Clase Azul tequila that my friends bought me for my birthday that I had on the previous episode. Okay, I talked a lot of shit about Clase Azul. I actually like it now. If I was okay with paying that much for tequila, I still am saying it's expensive. I would probably get it more often, but I drink tequila too much and I drink it too fast. And so for that reason, I can't be out here spending money on that bottle. But it's a beautiful bottle. It's a great tasting tequila. I can now pull out the notes. I've become familiar with all the notes within it, and I like it. I like it. So last episode, I was like, I wouldn't pay that much, whatever. But now I'm like, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. So thank you, RC and Wayne, for that bottle. I really, really appreciate it. Seriously. Let me try one more time. Hold on. Yeah. We're gonna let it sit a little bit. We're gonna let it sit. So back to fatherhood. So I haven't fully announced it, and hopefully I will announce it by the time you all hear and see this episode. I've been taking my time and enjoying the idea that, we don't always have to rush and post things on Facebook. We don't always have to post things on social media. While I love sharing with you all because you are my friends and family, I do sometimes say, like, y'all get it when you're supposed to get it. And this applies to even people who I've known for years. Like, so this is not just, just for the record, I don't believe that I'm a celebrity. Well, I believe it in my head, but I don't believe that you believe it yet. And since you don't believe it, I don't take those celebrity tendencies. So I'm not the type that's like taking pictures of the baby and putting a star over the face so you can't see the baby. Then why did I post a picture? Why? Like, I want y'all to see how beautiful my baby is. So just know y'all gonna see pictures. I have tons of them already. All I do is snap pictures. I've become her personal photographer. That's how bad it is. But no, I held off on just announcing, one, because while we were in Colombia, because of the altitude there, she had to have on a breathing tube. And so I was like, well, I don't want to memorialize these pictures and have her, be like, I was so sickly all of my life. The reason why she had the breathing tube on, for those who are not aware, Bogotá sits actually 2 miles above sea level. And to give you context, Denver, Colorado sits a mile above sea level, the Mile High City, for those who aren't familiar. So that's the reason why she's actually now over here in the States, and she actually had her oxygen taken at her first doctor's appointment. And it was at 100%, and that's the highest you can go. She got 100 already, cracking hundreds already. 1 month. That's it. No, but so we ended up coming back to the States. I'm getting back on topic. Y'all know adult ADHD is real. But no, we got back to the States. And so I arranged for a photographer to snap some photos of her because I wanted to capture her and make sure I love seeing newborn photography. If it's anything that makes, I was going to say ovaries, but testicles sounds even worse. So anything that makes your baby loving heart throb, that's better. That's a little bit more appropriate. Anything that makes your heart throb. For me, one of the things is looking at newborn photos. They're just so cute. I mean, everybody's baby look good. Everybody's baby looks good. And so I ended up reaching out to a newborn photographer. We were able to get her in to get some shots done, sorry. And So I was waiting for that to, share with people. So it's taken a while. Once again, we were in Colombia trying to get that squared away. And then we ended up getting back and I'm still working at the moment. So I've been doing a lot. I've surprised myself about how much I can do. I mean, I guess I surprise myself. I always said if I could write a dissertation or take my comprehensive exam, I could do anything. That's another therapy session that we can go over this, but yeah. So let's see. When we found out she was born, we ended up traveling to Bogota, and I'm not going to get into the drama that ensued as it relates to the shystiness that we experienced, as it relates to the surrogate. We're not going to talk about that. That's we probably need something a little stronger, but we got her. She's here. And from the moment that I met her, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ugly cried. I mean, I had to contain myself inside. She was in the NICU because of the oxygen. And I was sitting there and I could see her. As soon as I walked through the door, I knew that was my baby. Like I was like, that's her right there. Because I don't know. It was just something about hearing her cry. I was just like, wow, she has to be mine. And lo and behold, we love saying lo and behold, it was my baby. And so as soon as I saw her, I teared up, and I've been attached to her ever since. It's like one of those things where you can't seem to, like, I need to touch her. Like, I need my dose of touching her for the day, or else my life ain't right. When we got there, she stayed in the hospital for, I think it was maybe a week, just to make sure that her lungs were strengthening. And when we left the hospital, we rented out an Airbnb. And yeah, why the Airbnb had no central air? It didn't even have a heater. We had to go out and get a heater. If there was no heat, there was no air conditioning. And that's because in Bogota, the temperatures are typically mild. And because of the mild temperatures, it's kind of like, for those of you who are familiar, I would say New Jersey in September. That's what it's giving, where it could be cool during the morning, early morning, warm in the afternoon, and cool in the evening. You can have all four seasons in Bogota in one day, and that's every day, 365. It's actually pretty crazy. And I was like, I don't know if I could live someplace like this, because I don't know. I feel like I will be confused about what the hell to wear. I'm like, I brought shorts, but I don't know if I was like, I'm not wearing these. It doesn't make any sense to wear them. But yeah, we ended up renting out an Airbnb. The Airbnb didn't have any air or heat. So we had to get a fan because I didn't want my baby in this cold apartment. Like, no, she gonna get pneumonia playing around with them. Excuse my indulgence. I'm still teary-eyed from the last piece, and this ain't gonna be the last. I'm probably gonna tear up again. So we ended up renting a place there, which was cool because I think staying in a hotel room would have been a lot. We actually stayed in the hotel for a couple of days before the apartment was ready because we went earlier than we expected. But that was our life, like, for the time there, because even while her lungs were still strengthening, there was a period in which we had to stay on the oxygen, but in the apartment, right? And so I would say my aunt called me and she was like, do you have cabin fever yet? And it wasn't that I had cabin fever, but I definitely felt like my ass was on punishment. You know, like when your mother would send you to your room and then you couldn't turn the TV on. You knew you couldn't turn the TV on. You knew you couldn't turn the radio on. All you could do was sit. And then even after sitting, you're like, okay, you can turn the TV on, but now you're just still sitting. Like, we wanted to move around. We wanted to be about. And I know the old heads are like, you ain't supposed to be out with that baby. We weren't going out. I just wanted to go out of that room. We were isolated to a room. So it was a little hard, that part. But we also had to do a lot in terms of getting her paperwork done because she needed to have her Colombian citizenship paperwork completed, but as well as her U.S. citizenship paperwork completed. That's right. Yeah, I heard that right. My baby, my daughter. She's a dual citizen. doing better than me already. That's what you hope for. That's what you godly out. I'm trying to say godly instead of goddamn it. So bear with me if I sound country. It's nothing. I'm trying to better myself, so I'm not out here cursing like a goddamn sailor in front of my child. Golly. All right. But no, it was, that was a lot. And even, like I said, the Colombian side of the paperwork wasn't hard. That wasn't difficult, surprisingly enough. I think it was the US because, we do a lot for, I guess, good reason, right? And so just trying to get the US Embassy paperwork completed, getting her birth record. So because she wasn't born in a hospital in the States, you don't have a birth certificate. You have a certificate that's reporting your birth abroad to the consulate. And that's in so if a U.S. citizen is born in another country, you have to report the birth to the embassy in order for your child to be recognized as a citizen of the country of origin. If your origin is the United States, then that's our process. I don't know about other countries. I can tell you about the U.S. because I had to do a lot of research about it. We did all of that. I had a moment where I went off on the embassy at the embassy guards. I was almost on locked up and abroad. The Uber dropped us off at the wrong entrance to the U.S. embassy. So Al and I had to walk for about 15 minutes around the whole embassy with like a 3-week-old baby who we were late for our appointment. And the embassy guards are like, nope, you're late. And so I'm sitting there going off. I'm like, what do you mean we're late? Like, first of all, we were 15 minutes late. They told us we were 30 minutes late. They couldn't speak English. They didn't care. They weren't friendly. They were just assholes, like literally. And so I'm like, I'm an American. That's literally one of the lines I said when I was standing outside. But I was like, this is not how you treat U.S. citizens who are coming for services at the U.S. embassy in another country. So it was a lot. It was a lot. Alan ended up asking me to go sit down because my jersey came out and I was trying to bring the Atlanta back, but the jersey was there. So we went to go sit down, and after I calmed down, because I do better when I think. I do better when I have a chance to think and strategize. I did have a chance to call. I spoke to the U.S. Embassy and poked holes in their theory as to why they wouldn't let me in, which it made me feel good. I could have gone to law school after that. Because I said, damn, I'm poking the hell out of this logic. This don't make no damn sense. But then I also sent an email to the embassy explaining the situation. By the time, I think maybe an hour went by while I was doing all that, I got an email from the embassy saying, you all can come in. We've contacted the guards and we've instructed them to let you in. So shout out to the people in the embassy. The guards could go kick rocks. But we were able to get in. It was so funny because when I got to the embassy, he looked at my passport and he was like, Samad Kiss. And I was like, yes, Samad Keys. He was like, Kiss, yes. And he called them on the walkie-talkie, and everybody was saying my name as I was walking through the embassy. So I felt famous. I told y'all, I'm famous in my head. Y'all just don't know that yet. But clearly those people at the embassy knew that I was famous. So no, we ended up walking in. There was a bunch of security. You can't bring anything in there with you. So my cell phone, my Apple Watch, all of that, I took it off. But yeah, you couldn't have anything. So I had to get on my laptop, my iPad, my watch, my phone, and then you just sit there and go through the process. So we ended up getting her paperwork for the US completed. Thank God. And I ended up, or thank God, or whatever you believe in, because I believe in you. I just want to let you know. We were able to get home sooner than expected. They usually tell you to expect to be there for about 4 to 6 weeks. In my mind, I was going to try to get us home in like 2 to 3, but because of the oxygen situation, I couldn't push it as much. But I think I could have done it if the oxygen wasn't. And maybe that was the universe saying, look, we're going to slow your ass down. So, but I got us home. It was I felt like Harriet Tubman in this bitch. You couldn't tell me nothing. I got my family home. Like, that was an accomplishment. Like, to have this small baby and to be in this foreign country. And it wasn't that I love Colombia, by the way. Bogotá, I could pass on. So if you want to know what Bogotá is like, it's like Brooklyn. It's nothing, and I love Brooklyn, but New York is a hard place it's so many people, it's congested, it was given like, yeah, it was given that. And in addition to that, I think my Spanish teachers would have been so proud. All of my Spanish teachers throughout my life would have been proud because I was able to navigate and I could do that at baseline. So I'm from Patterson, New Jersey, once again, and people in Patterson live around. It's a very highly what do you call it? It's a very large Latino population, and as such, you listen and you learn over the like. We went from there's this thing we call the Mira Mira bus or the dollar bus. Some people call it the dollar bus, but we call it the Mira Mira bus. And so I know I know it's offensive. I'm just telling you what we called it. I didn't say I call it that now. Okay. I call it the dollar bus now. And that's because it costs $1 and it will take you from Patterson to New York for $1. But yes, we learn and we grow and we evolve. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. But we used to get on those buses and damn, I done lost my damn train of thought talking about the Mira Mira bus. What was I saying? Anyway, we would take those buses to New York. I think that's what I was saying. I think that was it. But no, it was a lot just getting back from Colombia. So I'm happy. Now I got it. What did I say earlier? It's real. It is real. Let me stop before I lose my train of thought again. So yeah, we learned so much hearing Spanish. The problem is that nobody was ever talking to us. We were just listening. And because we were listening, I can probably understand what you say to me in Spanish because I can pull out the words that I do know and put the sentence together. The problem is I can't respond back to you the way I want to in Spanish. And so I've tried over the years, even knowing that we were going to have a baby in Colombia. I hired a Spanish tutor. Some of my friends didn't even know that, but I was taking Spanish lessons like in between meetings. I would block off time on my calendar to take lunch and hook up with my Spanish. That's not what I meant. No, that's not what I meant either. I would get on a Zoom call with my Spanish teacher and we would go through lessons. And so some of it is vocabulary based, but the other parts, Spanish is is complicated. They say English is too, but Spanish is definitely a complicated language to me because there's just so many different ways and dialects that you can approach it. But that had my brain mushy as hell by the time it was time for us to go back home. And so for that reason, I just wanted some time to not talk or speak or listen to Spanish because it was tiresome. But yeah, that was I would say that was definitely a lot. And it just makes it, I would say, having Avery now, it makes me even think about my own life. I had those moments, those reflective moments, because I just could not believe I was a father. Like I was actually announcing to people, "Oh, I'm her father." Yes, Avery, I'm her father. Yeah, I love telling people that I'm a dad right now. Like, oh yes, because my daughter was born. That's one of my faves. Yes, my daughter. Oh, how old is she? She's 5 weeks. Yes. Brand spanking new. So I love the idea of being a father. I love fatherhood. I feel like fatherhood also helped Alan and I's relationship. Like I see him in a different love. I love Alan to death. Like he is the yin to my yang. But I was like, this is elevated. And it didn't. All these conversations that I've been having with myself about fatherhood has also made me start to just think about things. Like I look at Avery's face and I can't see, like one of the things I struggled with was how could any parent walk away from a child after looking them in the face? I don't know how. It's like this little bean is mine, right? This is my contribution to this world. And so I started going down like a rabbit hole of just even thinking about not necessarily my mother per se, but my father, my biological father. There's a difference. There's my father and then there's my biological father. And so y'all know my father, Rodney, but then my biological father, Butch, that like, yeah. But then it started to grow, right? Because it wasn't even about Butch. And that part of me or him walking away from me. But then I was like, how can so many other people do it? I was on this whole slavery kick. Everything came back to slavery. Everything. Like the damage that slavery has done, the Black psyche. And yeah, I get it. We want to believe that every Black person or every person who is of African descent was not enslaved. However, for those of us whose ancestors were, you can definitely see how it transfers down trauma to us. And when I say trauma, I think about, yeah, like Black men in particular, were raised to believe that their role was to breed. And that is, like, you think about the Black male psyche, you think about how we think, and you're like, yeah, maybe that's why people have become so familiar or okay with the idea of walking away from their kids, because they feel like that's their value proposition, right? That was a slave's value proposition. That was a Black male slave's value proposition, is that if I can't produce children, or if I can't work, or I can't produce other workers, then we won't be here, or I may not be here. I may be sold off, or I may be killed. And the same thing for, I would say, Black women. There is that sort of mentality that gets passed down as well. Like, my job is to produce children, because that's what they used to do. So it just was taking me down this like rabbit hole about just the trauma that we as Black people experience, the trauma of the Black male and the trauma of the Black woman that goes unaddressed, that goes undiscussed, that goes like, we got to clean this wound, y'all. Like, it's damn. It's crazy. And it's funny because something else, damn, I'm going, y'all would think I took my African American psych pill today. But it made me even think about, so when Avery was born, she was 5 pounds, 8 ounces. And, to US standards, that's small. I tell people I think I was 7 pounds, 8 ounces. I'm sure my baby brother was way more than I was, because that was a big baby. And I don't care if he heard me say this, because you were a big baby, Marquise. But all of the people in Colombia were just like marveling at how big Avery was. And me and Al, like, she's not big. Like, we kept saying she's not big. I told people, I was like, this is how much I weighed when I was born. And they were just like, yeah, no, she's big. One woman was, actually 2 women said, oh yeah, we were 2.5 pounds when we were born. I'm like, 2.5 pounds? God. So it was, yeah, I said, they don't have the experience we've had, right? We were raised to believe that big babies is what you want, because you needed to produce these ox-like babies, these children who had, the yams of a horse, because we were workers. We were bred to work. Whereas I was like, I know slavery existed in other countries as well, but I think where we were, at least in the more mountainous areas of Colombia, they weren't thinking about slavery. They may not have been impacted by slavery the same way that we have. And so I was like, damn, even just our sort of alignment around baby weight, slavery. So think about that, y'all. Like, just think about I keep starting this book, but I can't finish it because I can't sit and focus. But it's a book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. And I really want to like dive into that a lot more. And I'm actually very cognizant of it now because of the fact that I'm a parent, right? Because I want to make sure that I try not to pass down as much trauma that may have been passed down unbeknownst to our, elders down to us. So I think about that often. Like, something else in that book, actually, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, they talk about, if you watch Black children back in the day when we used to go into banks, if you watch a Black child in a bank with their parent versus a white child in a bank with their parent, and how the white child has free range to explore and make noise and to crawl on the floor or hide or play hide and go seek, whereas the Black child doesn't have that same freedom. And it's not because someone said that, it's more so because of how it would look upon the Black mother if she doesn't have her child in check or in tow. And so tying that back to slavery, like, you were You weren't seen or heard. You as a Black child shouldn't be seen or heard. And so now when that child grows up, they will do the same thing to their child. And it's a cycle that never stops. And so I'm not saying go out and let your children run amok, because just know that if your child is doing too much, I'm giving a side eye. I was given a side eye before I became a father. I will give the side eye after I became a father, because children should be children, but there's a time and place for everything. It's gotten better, y'all. But thank you for the gift. No, I mean, we'll see. Tequila at the first time never hits me the way I wanted to hit me. So we'll see how this goes. But no, it's just, yeah. Being Black, I say, is probably one of the most dangerous damn things I've ever had to do in my life. But it is definitely something that I would not give back. And so, because our culture is so rich, it's so rich with learnings and stories and experiences and nuances, that it's just like you continue to learn. We learn about us. We continue to learn about us in a space that is trying to stop us from learning about ourselves, right? Or that is always benefiting from our culture, our innovation, our artistic nature. Like, being Black is the shit. Like, I love it. I love it. And I'm raising a Black girl. So now we about to fight the system even more, just from a different angle. Like, we got a partner in crime to this. We got a trio now, 2 Black men and a baby. But no, like I said, fatherhood it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. Now, I am not gonna lie. I don't do anything to my face. I wash it, I moisturize, I put on some vitamin C. I may give myself like a nice little mask every now and then, but these bags, there's nothing I can do about them. And so the sleep thing, let's talk about this for a second. I haven't been this sleep deprived in I guess, at this part of my life. And so I can see how the people who have children young, you might be ready for it you have energy to spare. What you're not ready for it is the mental part of it. It's like, ugh. I don't even have the words. Like, when I'm sleep deprived, I get snappy. When Alan gets sleep deprived, he gets goofy. And so I have been a little snappy, but I realize it's because I haven't had any sleep. And Alan, the way we structured it, we were given a recommendation, because everybody got recommendations right now. And actually, people don't have recommendations. They just telling you what you should do. Nobody's like asking like, hey, have you considered such and such? It's like, you need to do this. So that's also a thing, but you get the response you get from me if you tell me what to do. It's not that I'm not open to it. Just rephrase it as a recommendation. Hey, have you thought about doing this? Have you considered this? That works better for me than just do this. Because who the hell are you? So back to my sleep deprivation. I ended up, me and Alan take shifts. And so whoever is, we what do you call it? Alternate. So I haven't had night duty. Thank goodness my aunt came to town, because she was like, you can go to bed. And I was like, really? Thank you so much. Like, I want to go out to the club and do hood rat shit, but I can't, because I'm so tired right now. And that was some of the best sleep I got last night. I mean, I don't even remember it. I don't remember what happened. I just know I hit the sack and that was it. But no, it's been a lot from that perspective. And people warned me the entire time, like, you ain't gonna get no sleep. Hey, you ain't gonna get no sleep. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to, I know you're not gonna get no sleep. Like, that was my inbox, probably the 2 to 3 weeks, if not more, leading up to Avery getting here. And I was just like, yeah, this is wild. This is wild. And because she doesn't sleep in the room with us, we wanted to try to have her sleep in her room from the very beginning. And not that we're opposed to her sleeping in the room with us, but I think we want to make sure that she knows she has a space, especially for me, having your own space early was a good thing. It was like, I always wanted my own space. Once again, I'm the oldest, and I shared the room with my brothers and my uncle. So it was 4 of us in one room. And I know there's stories of people who had more. So I'm the type, like, give me my space, let me get my own space. And I want her to know she has her own space. So it wasn't like we were opposed to her being in the room with us. It was more so we just wanted to let her know she has her own space. And so when she needs to retreat to her own space, she can. That's what it was about. So, but yeah, I lost my train of thought again. Oh well, that's fatherhood. But sleep deprivation it's been real. It's the waking up at 3:00 in the morning to make a bottle. Thank goodness for the folks who got us a baby Breeza, which is like a Keurig for babies. It's like awesome. All you got to do, you can make a bottle from your phone, or you can go and push the button on the thing and it'll make the bottle for you in a matter of seconds. You just put some water in it, make sure that the formula is full. I am an advocate of the baby Breeza. If I will talk about this baby Breeza some more if they will give me some money. But no, it's that's been a godsend. But making those in the morning, and the thing with baby breezes are you have to clean them out regularly. So you have to clear the like little spout chamber every 4 feedings. You got to make sure the water is in there. You got to keep the formula at a certain height or level. And so at 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning when you're making a bottle, that ain't what you want. And so one night I was actually making a bottle, and it was a alert on the actual what do you call it, on the machine. And as I'm trying, I thought it meant I needed to clean something. So here I am, eyes like shut, because I haven't gotten any sleep. It's so bad that my eyes start hurting because they haven't closed. I have never experienced that. But I'm trying to sit there and clean this thing out. I cleaned it out. I spilled so much formula that night, you would have thought I was in there baking. It was bad. And I'm sitting there, she's crying because she wants the bottle. I'm sitting there spilling formula all over the place, cleaned the thing twice, and the alert was still on. Come to find out, it needed water. I did not know that was the water symbol. So yeah, she's crying. I'm sitting there like at the sink, and I was like, I'm doing the best I can at 3 in the morning. And it wasn't because of her crying, but it was just like the formula on the countertop. Now I got to clean the countertop. It's formula in the sink, amount of formula in the sink. Now I got to clean the sink. I'm looking at all this shit I got to clean. This baby back here crying because I need to give her bottle. I can't guarantee that she's going to go down after I give her this bottle. It was a crazy night. So me and Al have been laughing. Like we've had some funny stories just about us in the middle of the night trying to do something that we haven't done in years. And I wasn't a clubber back in the day, but I said I should have gone clubbing, because if I did, I probably would know how to navigate through this. But no, it's once again, fatherhood has been lovely. I'm so thankful for being invited by the universe into this august body of just, yeah, phenomenal individuals. And you also say you can't really judge now people and how they parent. You can't, like, every child's different, every parent's different. We all not given the same level of tools. We all don't have the same tools. We all don't have the same resources. So that's how in addition to that, once again, every child is different. I can see personality traits showing in Avery even now. That's because I'm observant of that type of stuff, and I study psychology. So I just know a little bit more, but I'm like, okay, she's gonna be the shit, y'all. She is. Mark my words. Mark my words. I'm biased, but still mark my words. All right, I talked y'all ear off about my child. I'm so sorry, but not sorry at the same time, because this is a joyous moment for me. I'm happy, and y'all got a little niece. So make sure when you see my child out, you let me know what you like. If it takes a village, that's how I was raised. It takes a village. I had some other stuff on my list, but I talked too much about Avery or enough about Avery. So I think on that note, I want to thank you all for the continued support, the thoughts, the prayers, and all of the above that you've been able to provide through this experience. And, fatherhood is something that I've wanted since childhood. And so to be here and to be with you all means a great deal. So continue to keep me and the family in your thoughts and prayers. We will continue to be there for you. However, whatever that means, that can mean so many different things, but just know it doesn't mean monetarily because I ain't got no money to give. I have a baby now. I have a baby. But no, thank you for your continued support. Thank you for following. The goal is to be back with regular episodes, but with a child, you never know. But I will be out quarterly. So y'all might be getting some consistent stuff because we got a lot to talk about, I'm sure, especially with this child here. And if the content starts to go in a different direction because of the fact that I start talking about the baby more and that's not what you want to hear, let me know. But I'm still going to talk about what I want to talk about because it's a sit with Samad. So anyway, thank y'all. Love you all. Continue to follow, continue to like, continue to subscribe. And this is going to be a hell of a journey, y'all. Damn. I'm a father. We are fathers. I'm a father. Bye, y'all. I'm out.